Trying to look rich is making you poor. Kind of an important little small study here to do. Heard about this recently, and I went and actually checked it out for myself. New York Fed.org, Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Right, here's the article. I'm going to put it up on screen for you. Center for Microeconomic Data, Household Debt and Credit Report, the fourth quarter there, Q4 2025. Household debt balances reach 18.8 trillion in the fourth quarter. Total household debt increased by 191 billion to hit 18.8 trillion in the fourth quarter, according to the latest quarterly report on household debt and credit. Mortgage balances grew by 98 billion, to total 13.17 trillion at the end of December. The pace of mortgage originations continued increasing, with 524 billion newly originated in the fourth quarter. Credit card balances rose by 44 billion from the previous quarter and stood at 1.28 trillion, while auto loan balances increased by 12 billion to 1.67 trillion after holding steady last quarter. HELOC balances increased by 11.6 billion to 434 billion, while HELOC limits rose by 25 billion, continuing an expansion that began in 2022. Student loan balances rose by 11 billion to 1.66 trillion. Then it goes down through there. I won't be reading any more of that, but hey, the economy's crashing. What do you think we should do? Well, it's not crashing yet, so I think I'm going to probably get into more debt. Oh, insane. All the time at grocery stores, I'm there and I see people paying with credit cards. And I just think, you're financing your food, your day-to-day needs with debt. Not good. And I saw this magazine here, the Countryside magazine. We subscribe to this. They have some good stuff about country living and whatever else. I'm not telling you to subscribe, but I'm just saying. And I saw this thing here, one of the magazines. This thing here, this sheep says, "Mom, my friend said if he jumps off a cliff, I have to follow him." And this mother sheep says, "He's right, Bucky. You must follow the leader. Us sheep call that instinct herd behavior." So, right there. And I thought, boy, that's kind of telling about this whole debt situation. Oh, my neighbor got a new car. What are they saying on TV? It's never been a better time to buy a new car. Yeah, my car's 3 years old now. I probably should go get another one. I'll just kind of roll my payments over, so I never pay off that interest. Never really pay up much, I don't pay much into principal. It's just all the interest that I'm paying all the time. But hey, you only live once. Well, I have to get a mortgage. I have to use a credit card. I have to do all this different stuff. You're trying to look rich, but trying to look rich is making you poor. And one of the dumbest philosophies out there is this whole thing of leveraging debt in order to, and you do certain things. And I mean, I've looked into it a little bit, the Robert Kiyosaki, rich dad, poor dad thing and all this and stuff. And you get into debt at certain times knowing that the currency is going to hyperinflate so that later on you can pay it off. When we're all walking around with $100 trillion bills like they did in Zimbabwe, then you can pay off your 1.2 billion or whatever in debt much easier that way. And think, but you're not figuring on all the stress that it causes you being in debt. What about that? Constantly gaming and gambling and things. And how's the stock market going to go today? Oh, I lost a bunch of money on the stock market. Oh, all right, better luck next time. Oh, come on, I feel lucky today. Let's get back into the stock market. Mess you up. Let me show you from the scriptures. 1 Timothy chapter 6. I mean, almost 19 trillion in debt. U.S. household debt in this country. And I get people, you don't understand, Brother Brian. You don't know what it's like. We can't live without debt. I do. Yeah, but, we don't want to live the way that you had to live for years and years, to make money and things like that, living off-grid and living without running water and all the other stuff. That don't complain. I'll show you how to do it. I have a bunch of stuff here I'll say at the end. Desperate times call for desperate measures. You can get yourself out of debt and have the peace that comes with that. I can do what I want throughout a day. But 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 through 12. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. Satan's servants right now, they could redo this economy. They could redo the dollar. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. I'm not even going to get into all the economic stuff. I haven't even studied all of it. There's some people that are a lot smarter than me on that issue. But there are ways that you can fix an economy fairly quickly. If the government emits its own currency and everything else, not through a central bank like what we have with the Federal Reserve, there's a bunch of things that can be done. And we could have a prosperous nation again. Get rid of usury. That'd be a good one. But like I said, I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But the whole point is they don't want to do that. They want to keep the dollar going. And so they're going to be shifting things around and saying, okay, well, we're going to have to make some problems over here in order to keep the dollar afloat. And we're going to have to do tariffs, and we're going to have to we can't have the people revolt. So we're going to have to try to keep the prices down somewhat. We'll keep the price of fuel down because people identify nowadays with their vehicles. Strange. You drive around some truck that gets 8 miles per gallon or something like that because you identify as a truck person. You're too ashamed to drive a little car around or something. Weird. Really weird. To see people driving a truck to a grocery store and they come out with 1 bag of groceries. Why'd you need to take a truck? Doesn't make any sense. Get some small economy car or whatever else. Well, gas is still fairly cheap. Not compared to what it once was, but whatever. But you go to the grocery store and the groceries are so insane now, and hundreds of dollars for groceries. Just crazy. It's just going to keep getting worse. So here's how you get through this thing. You get yourself out of debt, okay? And don't try to be rich. Don't try to look rich. Don't care what people think about you. That's extremely important advice that I can give to all of my viewers, whether you're saved or not. Don't care what other people think. Be a nonconformist. All people look at me and they look at my old car and whatever else. I don't care. Whatever. But brother, I have to have a new car because I rely on my vehicle, and if I had an older car, it would break down all the time. That's interesting because I have all older cars. I've never owned a new car in my entire life, and my cars don't break down all the time. Okay? So, yeah. But Proverbs chapter 30, we'll go there quick. This is not going to be a major doctrinal study, just a quick little exhortation. As I saw that, and I just thought, I have to say something about that. Nearly $19 trillion in household debt in America right now. It's crazy. Proverbs chapter 30, verses 7 through 9. I did a whole study on this. I'm going to link it at the end of this sermon. And it says, 2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Like what's going on with the economy here in America. Give me neither poverty nor riches. You don't want riches? Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Your desire as a believer, and as, again, there are so many concepts in Scripture that are good that you can apply to your life, whether saved or lost. It's just a logical thing to say. If you're rich, you're constantly worried about your money. You start to fall away and you start to say, I remember hearing this guy, I've told this story many times. There was a Norwegian, I think, economist, Willem Middelkoop, and I heard him the one time he was on ITM Trading, and he was being interviewed, and he said that he had a rich client come to him, and he said, I've got $400 million, excuse me, not trillion, $400 million, and he was from Germany or something, I think, and he said, what do I do with this money? Well, could you invest it into precious metals? Where am I going to store $400 million worth of gold and silver? That's a little scary. I don't want $400 million of gold and silver sitting in my place. Yeah, okay, we'll put it in the bank. But the bank could crash. Well, how about buying a whole bunch of land? Then I have to take care of the land. Then I have property taxes I have to pay for. Oh, yeah. What about a bunch of old cars? Where am I going to store the old cars? See, what you don't realize is they that are rich fall into temptation and a snare and many foolish and hurtful lusts. It's a bad thing to have too much money. You see, well, you give it away. Who are you giving it away to? A lot of the philanthropy type of stuff, organizations and things out there, they abuse the money all the time. They'll take it and they'll use it to get out there and leverage more debt and whatever else so that they can make more money. It's a real burden to be very wealthy. So your prayer should be, I don't want to be wretchedly poor where I have to steal. I'm basically homeless and I have nothing to eat. And I'm saying I have to steal something to eat or else I'll be dead in 24 hours. That's a problem. But you don't want to be extremely wealthy either. Because the people that are extremely wealthy get a little bit sick in the head. Epstein files, they do some really wicked stuff. Why? They have all the money in the world. What do I do with it? I don't know. Just waste it. Just eat a bunch of junk food all the time. I'll just go buy up, the islands and have weird stuff going on out there and get a bunch of other rich people to come and party with us and things. So, America, you have a problem. Thankfully, the Lord has helped me to live a very frugal, many times very rough life. But I'm now here. The Lord has blessed us abundantly. And I'm not rich. Far from it. But we have food on the table. I have clothes on my back. Having food and raiment, let us be there with content. As we read earlier. I'm content. I'm happy. I had dreams different times of doing some great big ministry thing or whatever else, own my own publishing company or something. No. The Lord has me doing what I'm supposed to do right now. So I'm becoming more content as I get older and a little bit wiser up here in my head. I'm starting to understand some things a little bit more and say, you know what? Be thankful the Lord hasn't given you more responsibilities, Brian. You don't want a publishing company. You don't want a professional video company and hiring, 100 employees or something. You don't want that. I'd have even more gray hairs if I did that. Hey, get your studies done. Going out and go snowshoeing. Go have some fun with your son out in the shop. Go work on some stuff together. Go take your wife out on a date. Hey, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Neither poverty nor riches. Stay away from debt. Because debt is the illusion of riches, but the reality of poverty. Think about that one, okay? If you are seriously drowning in debt, I would say take some radical steps to get out of debt, all right? I don't know what's going to happen when the dollar crashes and whatever else. There's the great taking. I've done videos about that. The banks want to take what you have and all the other stuff. I don't know. America falls, or are they going to cut up America and give it to different nations and things, and the Northeast becomes part of England or the European Union or something, or I don't know. The West Coast is given to China, Alaska goes back to Russia, the Midwest is given to who knows. I have no idea. But the whole thing is your faith and your strength should not come from uncertain riches. You're not to trust in uncertain riches. So, but if you can get things paid off, if you can live debt-free, that's the way that you will truly have peace as a Christian. You get up and you say, okay, what do I want to do today? That's a neat feeling. Instead of getting up and saying, oh, I have to go to work. I don't want to go in there again, but I have these debts to pay. I have a truck payment coming up here, and oh, I don't want to go to work. well, I have to go. You grab some Pop-Tart or something like that, and you get out there and you get in your truck and you start it up, and it's dark and you're driving and all the other debt slaves are there going, and there's that guy going to his job. I see him every morning, and and you're driving to work, and you get there, you pull in, and you're thinking, I almost wish my vehicle would break down. I hate going to this job so much, and get in there and, all right, I try to work my best and things. Say, how do you know that, Brian? Because I used to be that. I used to have a job and whatever else and things that I couldn't stand. And I know what it's like to be in debt. Okay, and I'm thankful to be out of it. So if you are part of that $19 trillion or 18.8, was in the fourth quarter of last year, well, here in the first quarter basically of 2026, it's going to come out, it's going to be over 19 trillion. And the debt just keeps going up and up and up because people get unhappy and they say, oh, I want to be cheered up by going out and buying stuff. It's a bad idea. That won't cheer you up. That's just going to dig you into a deeper hole. Okay? So please take my advice. Check into the thing of getting out of debt and staying out of debt. Okay? If you can't afford it, then you can't buy it. Just that simple. Tell yourself that. All right? So that is going to be it. I'm going to leave some studies here at the end. My off-grid seminar, completely free. Tell you how to live a very frugal life. And also another study on the whole thing of Proverbs chapter 30, verses 7 through 9. So please take some time to watch those. If you have any questions, check out those videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching.